Be sure to tune in and hear from our amazing guest, certified indoor health tech and nutritionist, Monica Kahio. Welcome to News You Can Use. It's time to be aware, be informed, be empowered, and be transformed. Hello, and welcome to News You Can Use with Dr. Lotus Riché. I'm your host of the show today, and we are welcoming you to Naples, Italy. We are streaming live, broadcasting straight to you from Naples, Italy. And we've got a fantastic guest here with us today, all the way from the USA. Today, we're going to be talking about how is your home making you sick? Did you know that many houses are sick? They have lead paint, they have pesticides, and they have all types of pollutants that can make you sick. They can give you different types of cancers, different types of allergies, and you're wondering why. Oh my God, why am I sick? When it comes to being homesick, being sick from home, says Robert McLean. He's an MD, and he's the director of Exterior Hospitals Environmental and Occupational Health Center in Portsmouth, NH. He said that you can look at it from two angles. Which of your health problems are related to your environment? Bet you want to know that. And we're going to share that with you today. But he also said, or what hazards are lurking in your environment? And what can they do to you? Today, we're going to take a look at it. We're going to take a look at it from the angle of what's in your home that's making you sick, okay? And oftentimes when things are in your home that's making you sick, typically they're referred to it as sick building syndrome. I didn't even know that was a thing, right? But usually the sick building syndrome usually results in a group of symptoms such as your eyes, your nose, and your throat. You get irritation, you get stuffiness, you get spaciness, you got that lightheadedness thing going on, and you can even get rashes, says McLean. So today I've got a guest who is excellent in helping us understand what's in our environment, what's making us sick, and how we can get over it. So stay tuned, and I'm going to be right back with you with our guest, none other than Miss Monica. She's in the house. Be right back. Welcome to News You Can Use. It's time to be aware, Be informed, be empowered, and be transformed. Hello, hello, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm your host, Dr. Lotus Riché, and welcome to News You Can Use. And guess what? I've got a phenomenal guest here with me today. Miss Monica is in the house. Hey, Monica, how are you?
Hi, Dr. Riche. Thank you so much for having me.
We are so happy to have you on the broadcast today. If you could, Monica, go ahead and turn your phone sideways. And we're going to give her a moment to just get adjusted. Uh, and I think she's adjusted. Try it one more time, Monica.
Oops.
Okay. Try it one more time.
Upside
It's
down.
okay. Try it one more time. Okay. So we're going to leave it just like that, and we'll have you come in just like that. Turn it. All right.
How do I turn it around?
Okay. Right. We'll just do it just like that.
Okay.
Okay. So, Monica, we're always happy to see you. You're always doing great things around the world. And so, folks, just as with anything, Monica had some challenges today, but guess what? She's not challenged with. She's not challenged with bringing you excellent information. So, for those of you that do not know Miss Monica, we want to let you know that she's an amazing young lady. She's a speaker and she's a trainer, she's an author. And I want you to welcome her to the show because, hey, guess what? She's going to help us learn more about what we can do to help ourselves. Now, many of you may already know her. You've seen her on many shows. She's a certified indoor health and nutrition practitioner at Healthy Home Essentials with Technology. So she knows the goods. So we're going to get right into it. So Monica, tell us a bit more about yourself. We know that you are a health and nutritionist practitioner, but we know that there's some other secret sauce about you. So please share. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. First of all, I didn't get here by chance. I actually got here because I got sick, and I had to find a way to heal my body, and I wanted to do it naturally. And so that's how I went seeking and looking for ways to heal my body. I am I don't react well to medicine, and so I had to find a natural way to actually heal, and that's why I'm doing what I do today because I can understand it, I can talk into it, and I really know what people are suffering from, and I want them healed.
Wow, I tell you, you're absolutely right. Nothing happens by happenstance. Nothing. And here's what we know that sometimes when we get sick, it helps us to help other people once we overcome. So today we're going to take a deep dive into what's making you sick or what could be making you sick in your very own home. Because let's face it, a lot of us are unaware of what's making us sick, and many of us are unaware of how to change things. And so we definitely want to be able to change things and do something different to help make our lives better. And Miss Monica is here today. She's going to help us with that. So I encourage you, as I say, go ahead and grab your notepad, get a notepad and make sure you get a pen and make sure you tell your friends to come on in because today we're going to share some wonderful tips with you that's going to help you make it through. So Monica, let's get right into it. Again, I thank you for being here and we are going to take a deep dive now. So the first thing I wanted to ask you, Monica, because I know that you're a wealth of inspiration. And I asked Monica before, I said, what inspired you to focus on indoor health and nutrition? And of course, you said that, you got sick. So that's how you got here. But what else inspired you to do it? Because you could have said, okay, I'm healthy now. I don't have to help anybody.
To be honest with you, it's a story that needs to be told. because I've always been healthy. I've always been in nutrition, and so when I actually got sick, I got sick actually from my home, not necessarily from anything else. And just looking, but I had a great job that I loved, and I just felt when I got healed, I just felt the call of God saying, "Hey, there's so many people suffering. You need to go and help them the way you got helped." And so I did not want to leave my job because I absolutely loved it. And he's the one that had actually given it to me. And I was like, Lord, I love what I do, but it was not my calling. And so I feel, because I've always been in health. He said, "This is your calling." And so, the first thing I did was really start looking at research. And when I found out that there are 1 million people who suffer from asthma and allergies, and looking back, it's, they're the most misdiagnosed. It is the
Yeah.
most over medicated.
Yes.
And, and people just keep taking medication after medication, and they're not actually getting better. And they're getting allergic to even other things because they're not removing what caused it in the first place. And we all remove whatever is hurting you, your body really knows how to do to heal itself. And so
Exactly.
that's what I do. And I just felt, it was a call of God on me to actually fight this fight for those. And especially, most people don't realize that, like asthma and allergies are the number one reason children miss school.
That's
It's the
true.
number one reason of absenteeism. And so when our kids are getting sick and not getting school, it doesn't just affect one person. It affects the parents. It affects their earning because they have to leave work.
Mhm.
It affects the rest of the family
Right.
because now this one person, and some people have several kids that suffer with it. And
Right.
so,
That's true.
yeah, so, the parents' sleep is, depleted.
Eat
The
it.
children are not sleeping, and we know what happens when we don't sleep. We are not our best selves. And so, and
Exactly.
it is sleeping that we actually get healed. And so that's my biggest business objective, is to really educate people, and so that they can take action.
Mhm. So I really absolutely love what you talked about we are often misdiagnosed because oftentimes, like even with me, I've had to take the allergy sticks, and they stick you like 100 times in your arm, and it's not so nice. But I started having allergies when I was in Hephzibah, Georgia. I had some pine trees around me, and it was heavy, heavy pollen. And I can remember when I lived in Greenville, South Carolina, it was pollen everywhere. We would come out, the cars would be yellow, but I'd never had the itching or anything like that. And so when I moved to another location, okay, into Georgia, I started having these respiratory issues, the itchy eyes, the problems with the nose and stuff like that, the stuffy nose. And I went to the doctor, and of course, they diagnosed me, but they diagnosed me with asthma. I'd never had been diagnosed with asthma or anything like that, and severe allergies. But sometimes, I don't think we realize sometimes there are things in our homes that make us sick. And sometimes we get these pollens and things like this that come in our homes, and even mold.
Mhm.
And then they're in our homes. And sometimes when we go places, we're told that it's something else. So I want to just tap on this. And now, this is not medical advice, okay? This is
It
not
is.
medical advice.
Mhm.
And we want you all out there to talk to your um, medical provider if you have any conditions that might seem like allergy or something like that, because it could be coming from your home or it could be coming from outside, or if you could really be picking up something from another person as well. Okay, but talk to your medical provider, because this is not medical advice. Neither one of us are medical doctors. Okay, so now that we've said that disclaimer, thank you very much. So let's talk about You said we are often misdiagnosed, and you also said we also miss out on a lot of sleep. So let's go to the misdiagnosis. Can you share maybe your own experience? Were you ever misdiagnosed or know someone that was misdiagnosed?
Yeah, I was, because, when it all started, obviously I had tried, a lot of naturopathic things.
Mm-hmm.
And, when it came to a point where I was probably sleeping 2 hours a
Hmm.
day, um, and at that time I was still working and I couldn't function without sleep.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
that's when I ended up going to the doctors, and I am afraid of needles, so I couldn't do the needle part. And
Hmm.
so what happened? So they started giving me medication because
Hmm.
mine started as allergies, and it became like allergic asthma, and
Right.
and
Hmm.
and so when I was looking at the
Hmm.
medication, I read everything, and so
Right.
like
And you should. Hmm.
I have to know what is going in my body. And so,
Hmm.
the symptoms caused by the medication were worse than what I was suffering.
Wow.
And so I just refused to do it because it wasn't going to make me better. I mean, it's
Hmm.
one thing when you take something that is tastes bad and it's going to make you better, than
Right.
something that is already bad that's going to
Hmm.
mess your system. And so so I actually refused to take medication, for
Right.
myself,
Hmm.
because if it was going to heal me, I would have taken it, but I knew that I would be on it because they said you have to be on it for however long. And
Right.
I know people that have taken medication all their lives and they're still taking it and they haven't healed. And
Right.
so yeah, so is that, I don't know, it's so far misdiagnosed, but what I have heard from people is that one day they go, their misdiagnosed is asthma, then the next time it is allergies, and the next time it is
Hmm.
just different things. And so they don't know, but they're still taking
Right.
medication. Yeah. So
Right.
as far as misdiagnosed, that's what I meant. Yeah.
And doctors are given a license to practice medicine, and oftentimes, they are practicing on us, and we are practicing on ourselves as well because we're trying to learn what is the best thing for us. So we have to know our bodies, and we have to know our environment,
Absolutely.
our homes, what's going on in our homes. Is there lead paint? Is there mold growing on the windows? I was just in Atlanta a few weeks ago, and I was at a family friend's home, and I said, "Hey, you've got mold growing on your window." And so we took something as simple as hydrogen peroxide, and we were able to kill it because, of course, hydrogen peroxide breaks the blood-brain barrier of anything, and it gets in and it kills it. So, why is this important to know the things that are in our home that could be causing us some physical problems and even mental problems? Because you did talk about the cloudiness, or I talked about the cloudiness and things like that early on from WebMD, because WebMD talked about the different types of things in our homes that can make us sick.
Yeah, absolutely. The main reason that actually makes a sick in the home is actually, the EPA has reported that 70% of our homes actually have mold. And by the time you see
Mm-hmm.
mold, it is actually spread inside the walls. And because those walls they breathe, that actually comes into the home, and that's what we are breathing. So that's number one. Number two, is the building materials that
Mm-hmm.
are used to build homes. They emit toxins as well.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
they say, EPS has also reported that an average home has 10 pounds of toxic waste that is
Wow.
inside the home that we breathe every day. And so even when people say, "Oh, I don't have allergies," those toxins are going somewhere in your body because you're breathing them in. And
Yes,
so
that's
they may
true.
not cause allergies because our bodies are very different. One thing can affect me, and some it doesn't affect you. It doesn't mean it's not going to affect you
Exactly.
the same way. It will affect you something a different way. And so we find people who suffer from all different kinds of issues,
Right.
But it is actually caused by the same thing. It's just where your body, wherever your body is the weakest, that's what gets affected. And so for people, I tell people, people who have come with allergies and asthma, that's something that you can see, that you can feel, you can, and you can treat it. But when it's a
Mhm.
silent thing happening in your body, you don't know how it will come out in the end.
Exactly. And one of the key components I think that we have to realize is that one of the worst things that we can do is ignore our symptoms, especially when it comes to respiratory issues. Sometimes
Mhm.
people say, well, I just have the sniffles. Maybe it's nothing. Well, maybe it's something. So the question becomes, what are you going to do about the sniffles? And then if you go to someone, make sure, if you're not satisfied with that, get a second opinion. Because here's what I like that you said, that our homes, according to the APA, 70% of our homes have mold in it. And a lot of us don't even know what mold looks like. Okay.
Mhm.
And so I like to have another show where we come back and talk about mold, talk about the various types of mold, talk about where it can be, and talk about what you can do for it. Because I lived in Japan for a long time, and Japan, because of where it is, the humidity and all those things, a lot of those homes get mold really quick. You have the white mold, you have black mold, and it can be very, very toxic because some of it becomes airborne and we breathe it in and then it gets into our lungs and it can make us very, very sick. And I think in the United States, because we're less accustomed to it and it's not something that people talk about often, we ignore it. And we can have mold on our windows. If we have a leaky roof, the roof can leak and our ceiling can become molded. In many of our workplaces, there's oftentimes problems with mold and we don't even know it. But there has been so many reports of people getting sick, even in the workplace, because there's problems with mold and they don't realize it. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about the mold for another show. Would you join me for another
Oh,
show and we talk about that?
absolutely, absolutely.
All right, fantastic. So listen, folks, we're so happy that you're here with us. As you come in, go ahead and share this broadcast because this is definitely news that you can use. Share this broadcast with your friends and even your frenemies because let's face it, we know our buildings materials, they give off toxins. We know many of our homes, many of our offices have mold. And guess what? What if some of that gets into your food and you're eating it? You definitely do not want to do that. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. Welcome to News You Can Use. It's time to be aware, be informed, be empowered, and be transformed. Hello and welcome back to News You Can Use. This is Dr. Lotus Riché and I'm your show host. And today I have Monica is in the house with us today, and we are broadcasting live in your face and in the place from Naples, Italy. And of course, we're talking about things in your home that can make you sick. And I tell you, sometimes you think like I've got bags under my eyes. I've been traveling for quite some time. And sometimes we have stuffy noses, we have bags, we have swelling, we have all manner of things that's happening to us. And we're wondering, why is this happening to us? Well, guess what? Sometimes it's your house that's making you sick. And today, if you're just tuning in, you are in the right place and in the right space because our guest, Miss Monica, is in the house. Monica, welcome back. So, Monica, you came in earlier and you told us a little bit about your story, that becoming really knowledgeable about what you do didn't come without a cost. You got sick, You became more aware and you started doing better things to understand what's going on in your life. And you also shared with us what compelled you to be aware, what compelled you to do better, and why it's important. So, I wanted to ask you, what are some of the things in our homes that can cause us to be sick? And I've got some items that were shared by the WebMD, but I want to hear from you first, and then we'll share with our audience some of the things that WebMD shared.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them, obviously the home comes the way it is. There's nothing you can almost do, because if there's a building, it's a building, and you're going to live in it or work in it. But some of the things that most of the things is the things that we bring ourselves. When we look at, the cleaning, the household cleaners, um, you know, what I usually tell my client is, I want you to go and read, the things in your bathroom, the things in your kitchen, everything that you need for cleaning, the things in your laundry.
Yes.
Just look at the first three ingredients and, Google them up and see what they do. And that is the biggest thing, because those are some of the things, because unfortunately those things, when we spray them, we may smell them for a minute, but they're so light that they actually stay in the air. And again, whether the scent has dissipated or not, we are actually still breathing those. And so, the cleaning products are the biggest thing that we bring in.
You know,
Also,
let me interject. Pardon me, but you are so spot on. I kid you not. Yesterday, I was sleeping in the hotel, and I didn't even hear the cleaning people come in. That's just how tired I was. I told you, look at my eyes, right? And so, because I'm still working while I'm here in Italy, I'm not just vacationing, but it is a vacation as well, right? But I tell you, I was so tired, I didn't even hear them come in. But I smelled the cleaning solvents that they were using on the floor. It woke me up because my room door was closed and they were in the living room area mopping and all that. It woke me up. I go out there, startled the bejesus out of the lady. But um, after they left, I remember I went back and I laid down, and oh my goodness, I had to close the door again, but I could still smell the fumes. So I'm still inhaling this stuff.
mhm,
Like even 30 minutes after they were gone, it
mhm.
stayed. So wow, you're spot on with that. Thank you for sharing that too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also then we come into even our the body products that we use.
Yes.
Again, they used to be, if anything says um, orange scent, I promise you it does not have any orange or any lemon or anything, because now everything is actually made with chemicals. And so, like you were talking about earlier about using hydrogen peroxide, there's
Mhm.
so many things that you can actually use that are natural, that are not going to be harmful to the body. And so, you know, and I usually ask question, if these things clean the way they say they do, why do you need 10 under your under your cabinet?
Yep.
And
Yep.
they're all made with different chemicals. Why
Mhm.
doesn't one clean the way it says it's supposed to do? Same thing with laundry
Right.
detergent. Look at
Mhm.
all the stuff that we put in the laundry, to
Right.
make clothes clean. I mean, it should be laundry detergent and it's done, and but you have to put all these other things. And when you read about them, and most people don't, we know, head knowledge tells us our skin is the largest organ. But think
Mhm.
about everything that we're washing clothes with ends up in the
Yes,
body, because your skin breathes that in.
that's true.
And so when we think about all the different diseases that are coming, that we have right now, that's where they all come with, and our bodies can only take so much, you know.
That's true.
And so, those are some of the things I like to bring into line. Then obviously we have pets, we have dust, we have done. The other thing most people don't think about, I don't know if you've ever opened your window first thing in the morning, and when the light is
Mhm.
shining through, we see like little speckles.
Yes.
Most people don't realize that,
Yep.
whereas, that's actually our skin, the skin that we shed. and then,
What?
yes. The skin that we shed, and then the skin is actually we shed over 700,000 skin things in every day. And so those dead skins are
Wow.
actually eaten by dust mites, and then dust
Mhm,
mites have
mhm.
dust waste, dust mite waste. And so those are the particles, and because they don't fall to the ground, they're magnetic, that we actually breathe that more than we breathe other
Yes.
things, because dust is actually heavier than those, so it falls and you can see it and you can dust,
Wow.
but those
And
don't, and so that's what you're breathing.
yeah, and you know what? I do see that as well in the morning because I love opening the windows first thing in the morning.
Hmm.
Absolutely love it. Did it here actually this morning. But even our deodorant can have aluminum in it.
It does.
And
Correct.
aluminum is not good for our bodies to take in.
Hmm.
And I know that there are natural deodorants, and I know
Hmm.
people that don't use deodorants because the deodorants oftentimes make you, and they call them antiperspirants. You don't
Hmm.
perspire. So the
Hmm.
waste that you need to be getting out of your body, your pores are clogged, and so you're not getting those toxins out of your body. So it backs up in the body, and it makes you sick, and you get lumps under your arms, and all
Hmm.
manner of things. But we are in a country or in a world where body odor is something that we try to cover up. But what I
Hmm.
found is that, and I've heard this from a lot of people, and I haven't tried it yet, but I want to do this. I want to go without wearing deodorant. Now, if I'm home, I've gone several days without it, and I don't smell bad or anything like that. But here's the thing. There are many people that don't use a regular store-bought deodorant. They use something very natural like limes or something like that, and they actually don't smell bad. They smell pretty good. So we have a comment from the Philippines. It says, "Thank you for the reminder about detergent. I knew it a long time ago, but have forgotten and started using them again." So we want to encourage folks to do what about laundry detergents?
um Number one, look for, because you can go to any store and look for, when you read the ingredients, um you know um what I recommend, obviously, I work with a company that is, produces, all different kinds of for the home. And so what I recommend is we have you know um a technology that actually you can, use that doesn't use any kind of chemicals, any kind of laundry detergents. And so that's what I recommend for most people. But obviously, you know there's an upfront cost, but once it's with you for the rest of your life. But
Mm-hmm.
there are natural detergents that actually, do the same thing, that don't emit all those toxins.
Right. And you know what too? I want to drop this on everybody as well. Um, a friend of mine told me a few years ago, and she said, I don't use perfumes anymore. Now, a lot of us, we like to smell good. We get the Chanel, we get the Boss, we get the Red Door. I love Red Door. We get so many different types of perfumes, the Daisy and the Prada, and so many companies are making fragrances. And the guys, you love to smell good too. Hugo Boss, that's an older one, but so many colognes and perfumes, and um, it's just amazing. We are spraying these things in our clothes,
Yeah.
and they're seeping into our skins,
And
just like the chemicals that we're washing our clothes in
mhm.
is seeping into our skin. So, Miss Catherine, I want to thank you for sharing that because that's super important. So, we want to encourage you, look for detergents that are very safe and have natural products versus chemicals that are harmful to the body. So that's a great tip. So I hope that you're writing these things down because it's very important, very important. So let's go ahead and give them some more tips. So that's the first one we're going to share with you. Your deodorants, yep. That's the first one. Use deodorants that are all natural, that don't have aluminums in them. And then with your detergents, use things that don't have a bunch of chemicals in it and that are all natural if possible. So again, we're going to share these 5 things with you that you can do to improve the health in your home. If you have lead paint, okay, get rid of that lead paint. Now, some of you may say, Dr. Lotus, how do I know if I have lead paint? If you have a older home, probably I want to say past 70s, 9 times out of 10 you may have lead paint. But don't take my word for it. Go ahead and get someone who specializes in this. They can come and they can test your paint. They can take a little chip and they can test and see if you have lead paint. Okay. Many children used to get sick many years ago because they would eat the lead paint and they would get lead poisoning. Okay, so what else can we share with our folks today?
Um, well, since you brought up perfumes, the perfumes used to be made with flowers and flower oils.
Mm-hmm.
And, like you, I love perfume. I love Chanel No. 5 was my thing. I love Red Door, but I literally knew when they changed it. This
Uh-huh.
because of the smell. The smell
Yes.
completely changed when they moved from making with flowers to making with, different chemicals. I knew, and I've never used perfume again. We have natural oils, we have, all different kinds of oils that smell really good. And, there are ways to mix them and you can smell as good as anything, but instead of putting chemicals on you. Again,
Yeah.
it's about health, it's about I worry about my health more than I worry about how I'm going to smell. But that's me. So, but I just love people to to be aware of that, because if something is going to make you sick and you don't know, why put it on?
Yes.
Because the companies, they're out there, they're making their money, and you're getting sick, and when you go to the
Mhm.
emergency, they don't come to you. I'm sorry. That's the way I look at it.
So, how can people migrate more to perfumes or other fragrances that are all natural? Do
Yeah.
you know any corporations that specialize in
Essential
that?
oils, essential, and you have to kind of take, if there are a lot of essential oils out now, that you can purchase, and you just find the one that smells good on your body, and it's natural, because it will. There's some, like, you can get one and it smells good on you because we have different body chemistries, and the other one, so one other thing smells better on me that doesn't smell good on you. So it's just about test, just testing your skin and seeing what you love, because that's what it's gonna bring out. But essential oils are really good.
I like that. So,
Yeah.
use essential oils. And
Hmm.
what else would you share with them? How about in our houses the ventilation? Because I have a neighbor. We went to help um, out. They were moving, and their ventilation was horrible. And they had maintenance come in like only a few days ago, but they never changed out the filter in their house.
Mm. Mm. Wow. Basically, I always recommend, even, I'm a member of, Allergen and Asthma Foundations of America. And some of the things that they definitely recommend are air purifiers. Because they, and there are different kinds. It depends. I remember when I was sick, I that's the first thing that my chiropractor actually recommended, and I tried some that was from $200 all the way to $2,000, and some of them worked a little bit, some of them worked for a while, and then they didn't work. But coming to the science of how they work is how I came to the determination. And literally, that's how I came to do, because that's what actually helped me to do it. Using a purifier, because they literally take whatever is in the air, they can take it off, then you're breathing clean air, then the body actually starts to heal itself. So,
Exactly.
purifiers are huge. Yeah.
Mhm. I absolutely love that because the fact of the matter is that the cleaner air that we breathe in our homes, the better for our lung capacity. So, wow, this is amazing. And air purifiers are Do you or your company, do you sell air purifiers? Do you train people in purchasing the
Yeah,
right one? How does that work?
yes, yeah, we help. Yeah, that's actually, that's my passion. That's how I, I think that's why I exist, just making the home clean. Yeah, the thing about purifiers is knowing, like I said, the science of it, because some of them, take air in. Most of them, I think all of them take air in. And, some of them, they can trap things, and things start growing in them because
Mm-hmm.
there's no outlet, and especially if you're not cleaning them out, very often, or doing something like that. But the purifier that I use and definitely recommend is because it doesn't take air in, it actually outputs. And because it works actually the way they made it, is that it mimics nature. The way nature cleans the air outside is how this technology does. So it's not using any chemicals. It actually outputs and goes to the pollution. So it will get rid of mold. It will get rid of, it will go through, like the take out the the oops, even like in the walls, it will actually take out all the that it emits, because even the furniture emits because of all the chemicals that have been put in the furniture. It actually removes those. And so it is cleaning, it's cleaning the smells, it's cleaning the air. And the best part of it is actually it's the only one that actually cleans surfaces as well. So let's say, somebody, you have a child, they come home, they have a cold or they have flu, and they touch the door.
Right.
Somebody else touches the door and touches themselves, they've got it already. So this one actually cleans the
Exactly.
surface as well, and cleans the germs, bacteria, viruses. And so, I say that's what really helped me, because number one, I can sleep. Before, I used to sleep 2 hours, and I
Mhm.
remember when I started using, sleeping my 8 hours, my 9 hours, and it's really deep sleep. And then I believe that's how my body started to heal. So
Awesome.
I definitely recommend purifiers. Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing that. And you have to do that because your biggest asset is you. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't have you, if you're unhealthy, then how can you take care of your family? How can you take care of someone that's depending on you? How can you have a quality life? A lot of us want to live a long time, and we really can live a long time. But who wants to live and not have a great quality of life? If
Mm-hmm.
you want to live a great quality of life, put a 10 in the comment block. Put a 10 in the comment block if you want to live a great quality of life. And also let us know who you're sharing this show with. So as we begin to wrap up our show for today, many of you are just joining us, and you may be saying, okay, Dr. Lotus, what are you guys talking about today? We are talking about how your home is making you sick. And we want to thank you for joining the show. Those of you that are watching the replay, we want to thank you as well. And those of you all around the world that are participating here with us, we thank you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Send the questions in. We'd like to respond to them. And Monica has agreed. We're going to come back in another episode. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about mold, because mold is very prevalent in places like Asia, even here in Italy, and even America. But so many of us, we are not aware of it. Some of us don't even realize what it looks like. And so we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the different types of mold, how it can affect you, and how to get rid of it. So make sure you join us, and we're looking to bring Monica back sometime at the end of the month or the beginning of next month, and we'll be talking about that. But until we get back to that episode, you'll be seeing broadcasts from us, and we'll be talking and letting you know when that broadcast is going to happen. And so we've got some tens in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Fantastic. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back for the wrap of the show, and we're going to have some words of wisdom from Monica. We'll be right back.
Be
Be sure to tune in and hear from our amazing guest, certified indoor health tech and nutritionist, Monica Kahio. All right, and we are back. Monica's in the house today. We want to thank you again for watching the show. Today we talked to Monica about what inspired her to focus on indoor health and nutrition because, of course, our topic today is how is your home making you sick? And she's pretty much an expert in this. And she paid the ultimate price by being sick herself. And she learned from it and she brought some great tips and tools to the show today. We also talked about why it's important to know what's in your house, what's on your walls, and even what's outside of your house that might be seeping in through your windows and doors to make you sick. We also talked about what are some of the things in our homes that can be causing us to be sick. And we talked about lead paint. We talked about perfumes. We talked about a myriad of things. But also, we wanted to draw your attention to this right here. Let's see if we can go right here and grab this for you. I wanted to share with you all the tips that I found in WebMD. And WebMD shared, and I didn't even know they had this topic. Isn't that interesting? Is your house making you sick, right? We didn't even know they had this topic. But it talked about the lead paint. Wow, we talked about that on the show. The pesticides and pollutants that can contribute to making your house sick as well. They call it sick house syndrome. I'd never heard of that. If you ever heard of sick house syndrome, put a number 5 in the chat. And if you've never heard of sick house syndrome, put a number 2, because that's saying you too, you never heard of it. Okay. And this article was actually written, and you can see it in WebMD. It's under Women's Health. And this was a featured story. Okay. And they have a Robert McLean. He's an MD. He's the director of Exeter Hospital's Environmental and Occupational Health Center in Portsmouth, NH. And he has a brilliant article right here, and I challenge you to read it. And then they talked about the different things, 10 different things to be exact, that can affect you and make you sick in your house. So the first one is tobacco. Long-term exposure, we know, to tobacco can make you really sick, and people can get lung cancer. And guess what? You don't have to be the smoker. There are many people that don't smoke that develop lung cancer. So Monica, talk to us about that, what you know about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, even, somebody having, because I hear a lot of people, oh, I smoke outside. And that smoke is on your clothes, and then you pick up your kid and you hold them, or you hug your wife or you hug your kids. They already got it. They smoked more than you smoked because their lungs are more open, and so so that really that smoking outside it doesn't count because it still comes in because it's in your clothes and it's in your body, and so smoking is really bad, and then it actually gets in the walls as well. I talk to a lot of realtors, and some houses will not sell because of that.
Exactly.
You cannot get that smell outside.
Yes, and not only because of the smell, folks, but smoke over time causes a yellow film to be on your walls. Okay, so wow, that's great. And so radon is an odorless and invisible gas that can also increase the risk of lung cancer, especially for smokers. So radon tests, as you see here, they're not expensive. And for more information, you can call the National Radon Hotline. It's 800-SOS-RADON, okay? And then, of course, many times, especially in older houses, you have asbestos. If you have houses that's been built between 1920 and 1978, you might be exposed to asbestos, okay? Which is commonly, was used in buildings many years ago as an insulation, okay? And exposure to small amounts of asbestos, it might not harm you from what WebMD, this article is saying, but breathing in high levels of it can increase your risk for cancer, lung cancer disease, and many other cancers, and many other diseases that may not even be noted from the past, or they may not even know of these type of diseases that can be caused by asbestos even today. So you can contact the Consumer Product Safety Commission if you think you have an issue with asbestos, and you can actually have it removed. Now, it may be a little pricey to have it removed, but the life that you save may be your own. And lead, we talked about lead in many houses before 1978. I thought it was before 1970, but I stand corrected. Before 1978, many people, they had lead poisoning. And here in the article, it says over 900,000 American children each year were impacted by lead poisoning. Okay, lead exposure. Talk to your physician about having your child's blood tested. You can have your blood tested, especially those of you who were little children in the 70s. Many of you lived in homes where they had lead paint. And so just like many of us, I didn't eat glue when we were little kids. Many kids ate the lead paint off the wall. So you can have your blood tested to find out if you have lead in your blood. Also, combustion gases. Monica, what about combustion gases? Because the articles shared with us that it can cause flu-like symptoms, in respiratory illness or even death. So why gases? What do we need to know about gases, Monica?
Yeah, the gases, they do the same thing. And those gases actually can come from the furniture. They're called VOCs. There's the volatile organic compounds. They can come from, fireplaces. They can come from, if you use gas or electric, they come from there. And, they're just as toxic because they're invisible. You don't see them, you don't smell them. And basically everything is getting into your lungs, and it plays a havoc in your lungs. And yeah, so they come from, so when you're buying furniture, and unfortunately that's why I'm talking about the purifier, because it actually gets rid of those.
Exactly.
Because we don't think when you buy furniture that you're buying brand new furniture, bringing it home.
Right.
But you don't realize, for it to have, even like hardwood floors, for it to have that look, the look that you're looking for, the marbling and all that is actually wood that is treated with chemicals, and they ooze out those gases as well.
And here's another thing. You want to make sure your chimneys are clean as well. Like now it's becoming summer, but now is the best time to have your chimney swept, because a lot of times when you light that chimney during the winter, or sometimes I always like to have marshmallows, and I roast them even in the summer in my fireplace, right? But if your chimney is not clean, or even if you don't open the flue the way you're supposed to, that back smoke comes into your house. If it's not ventilated properly, that can be a problem for you. And you can install a carbon monoxide monitor as well. So that can also help. And then, Monica, talk to us about the water pollutions, okay? Because many of us have polluted water and we're drinking this stuff. I took off the little, there's a filter or a screen filter on the faucet. And when I took it out, it had all kind of nasty, dirty particles. So, Monica, why is that? Why do we need to know about our water? Because it's in our house and it could make us sick. Why is that important?
Oh my goodness. I always talk about, one of the things when God created the earth and created man, it gave us three things. It gave us air, water, and food. And when you get all those wrong, that affects you. But when we get it right, then your body actually starts to live. That's why, the water, number one, is just the way it is. It comes from, like water is collected from all sources. And so everything that we put in the ground ends up in the water.
Yes.
And even when it is, treated, wherever it comes from, it has so much stuff that, there's it's called the President's Council that does all the investigation of what is going to happen. And they have actually said that cancer is going to be the number one reason for
Mhm.
death in the next few years because of all the toxins. And they're coming to us from every side, from the water, from the food, and from,
Yes.
from the food and from the air. And so
Mhm.
when we are taking all those in, there's no way, our bodies can be healthy. And water is
Right.
one of those. Air, I say air is probably the biggest because we can only live 3 minutes without it. And I think
Mm.
most of us knew how important air is. We didn't realize it until COVID. Most
Exactly.
people took it for
Exactly.
granted, but water, you know
Mhm.
when people realize how bad the water is that is coming to from the faucet, they
Yeah.
started making bottled water.
Right.
um Maybe in the beginning it was good water, but today,
Mhm.
it is very, very toxic because, number one, of the
Yes.
bottles, number
Mhm.
two, because of the way they are treating it. And
Mhm. Mhm.
studies have shown that it is actually sometimes worse than what you're getting in the tap. And
Exactly.
so,
Exactly.
yeah, and then, depending on where they put it, because I see people leave a bottle of water in the car in that heat,
Mhm.
and literally you are drinking yourself into cancer, because it oozes
Exactly.
all those different chemicals in it. So I always recommend, having a water purification as well, um,
Mhm.
to just even have a better chance of that, um,
Yes.
for drinking, because um, yeah, it's, I mean, I can talk classes about it because it's not a good thing, but we need as much water as possible, because
Mhm.
again, when we were talking about
Mhm.
the deodorants and stuff like that, most of the time the reason we have smell is because our bodies become very acidic. We're not drinking enough water
Right.
to
Exactly.
take
And
to
then
take those toxins out. Yeah.
right. And so we have to have water that's clean for our bodies.
Hmm.
And if you
Hmm.
look at the article that we're sharing with you from WebMD, it says that if you use a private well, and I have a cousin, she uses a private well, um, you should test your water every year for
Hmm.
nitrates and bacteria. And depending
Right.
on where you live, you may also want to test for pesticides, organic chemicals, or radon. Now, here's another thing. You can also use a Sterapin. What does the Sterapin do? It sterilizes the water and it kills any type of amoebas and things like that. And you can also get a pen where you take that water and you push the water through the pen and it will clean that water for you. Okay. Also, I highly recommend that you get a type of water filter, even for your showers. A
Hmm.
lot of times their hair, their skin is real brittle and real dry, and we call it hard water. But here's the thing: a lot of times that water that we're showering in these nitrates and these bacterias and all this stuff, and we know that our skin is the biggest organism on our body and it takes things in. So on the next show that Miss Monica and I do, we're going to be having some samples. We're going to show you some of the filters that we use, the one that I even use on my showers at home. We're going to show you some Sterapins and how to use them. And so we're going to make this a series, okay? And I'll be bringing Monica and some other wonderful guests. And we're going to be talking about this because this is news that you can use to help you be healthy. So Monica, let's also talk about the household chemicals a little bit more because you leaned into this and you leaned into this well. Household chemicals, for those of you that might just be joining us, please make sure you're taking notes and hit the replay, share this out with somebody. Monica, you talked about how dangerous household chemicals can be, and I absolutely love that you share that. This information from WebMD also solidifies what you said, and it says choose the least dangerous chemicals for the job. Why is that important, Monica? Why should we choose the least dangerous chemical?
But the main reason that it ends in our bodies, and it's not just washing, it is all those things that it emits in the air,
Mm.
all the
Ah,
dangerous chemicals that are emit in the air. And let's say, for example, if you wash dishes with a chemical, where are you putting your foot on?
exactly,
you're,
exactly.
you're putting your foot on that chemical. Just because it looks clean, it doesn't mean that there's nothing
It
on
doesn't
it.
mean
Because
that it's clean. That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
and it's clean, but what is on it, because that whatever it is actually getting to your food. The other thing is, when you, especially, plastic,
Yes.
as much as
Yes.
anybody can avoid it, because especially
Hmm.
when I see people put plastic in the dishwasher,
Yeah. Yes.
because plastic and bleach don't mix well, and
Don't
that's
go
why you
together.
see it starting to peel. And
Right.
that's what it's telling you. If you see anything,
Mhm.
any plastic starting to peel or to crumble, you need to get rid of it, because
Yes.
you are eating from that, and that's going in your body. You're putting plastic in the body.
And another thing, dare I say, when we have these plastic bottles in our cars, we're leaving them out in the elements, they start to degrade, and those chemicals go into our waters, and then we're ingesting them. Another thing about
Exactly.
plastics, when we heat plastics again in microwaves, et cetera, oftentimes, depending on the type of plastic, it can degrade and go into our food. So we want to be very careful with that. And even with your waters, typically I buy glass bottles, water that are in glass bottles, and
Yeah.
it's just better for us. And so as we wrap, we want to talk about the pesticides. You want to avoid pesticides, and you want to avoid allergens. Water damaged materials frequently grow mold. We talked about that
Hmm.
earlier. And organisms, we can ingest those. And food poisoning. You want to make sure that your refrigerators are cooled properly. And if you have to refrigerate something, you want to make sure your refrigerator is clean. You want to make sure that any type of raw meat, any poultry, any fish, anything you come in contact with, you want to wash your hands very thoroughly. When you put it in your refrigerator, sometimes you may get some blood that runs off from the meat. You want to make sure you're cleaning your refrigerator really well, especially with chicken. Chicken is one of the main things you don't want to get sick from. Like you don't want to get sick from anything. And uncooked or
Anything.
raw eggs, you have to be very, very careful. And so we just wanted to share these things with you today. We hope that this has brought you some value to your life. Please share this with people that you know, because your house can be making you sick. And so these are contributing factors that make you sick in your house. So, with no further ado, Monica, we're going right back to you. Please talk to our audience and tell them how they can connect with you for the air purifier, how they can connect with you for any type of seminars or webinars that you have coming up, any type of new books that you may have coming up, because we want to help people with the news that they can use so that they don't become sick in their homes. Monica?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I've left some information with you and your audience, how they can get in touch with me. You can also, I am on Facebook, and I am on Alignable. I am on LinkedIn. So you can get in touch with me there. And I like to talk to, person to person, just to hear somebody, because we are all different, and I'll be able to, you know, to guide you in the right direction. If I don't have anything that you need, I know where to get it, where I can lead you to get it. And so, I collaborate with a lot of health and wellness people, so I can always lead people to the right kind of help that they need. But those are the best ones. But I'll put my information with you, so that they will be able to get in touch with me.
All right. I absolutely love it, Monica. And so we'd like to share with you, go right over to Monica's channel. You can go right there to Facebook. She's always happy and willing to connect with you and share some wonderful information with you and let you know what is going to help you and how it's going to help you. And so if you need someone to come and speak on your show, if you need someone to come and speak at your event, someone who's well informed, someone who knows what is going on and how to help you help yourself with news you can use, you definitely want to connect with Monica. And we've shared her link right there in the chat. Take a look at it and copy it and share it with yourself, your friends, including your frenemies. There we go. So thank you, Monica, so much. And thank you to our amazing audience. We absolutely love you. And so if you have any type of show topics that you feel that you want to hear about, If it's more news that you can use, we want to know what type of news you want us to bring to you. So until we see you again, be sure to make sure that you share this information with everyone that you know to help them grow, because this is definitely news that you can use. Until we see you again, take care and be blessed. And okay, there's Monica popping back in. Let's see if Monica's popping back in. Hold on one second. All right, yeah. All right, there she is. She's back.
Yeah, I don't know
Hey.
what happened.
Yeah, we seem to have lost you for a moment. So, Monica, if you would please give your final words of wisdom, and then we'll talk about the new story coming up. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, first of all, I want to thank you so much for, inviting me. And secondly, we are our best advocates. So if we don't advocate for ourselves, somebody's going to tell us how to live. So take care of your bodies, is the only thing you have in this world to take care of, first of all, and then you can take care of other people. Because if you don't, you're not going to be helping others if you cannot help yourself. So take care of your health. It's your best wealth that you can have. And I always remember one of the things Steve Jobs said, which really, really impacted me, was he could have afforded to pay anybody anything except to be sick for him.
Wow.
Yes. And so you can have all the money in the world, but if you're sick, you're not going to enjoy it. So because sometimes we care more about the money than we care about our bodies. Take care of your body. The rest of it will come easy.
Wow, that's awesome. I absolutely love it. So thank you for all of our viewers, and also thank you to all of our sponsors. So until we meet again, always remember to check in with us here at News You Can Use, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one. Watching today's News You Can Use. To get more reliable information, visit our social media accounts, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and ring that bell to always be updated on the current happenings around the world. See you next time on News You Can Use.